Assalamualaikum everyone. Today we are going to look at how we are going to add value to your drawing. This drawing we already did in the previous class. Now I have an option between mechanical pencil or the wooden pencil. So it's best if you choose wooden pencil. You should have a cotton buds and an eraser. Make sure your pencil is sharp and look at the way how I'm holding the pencil from the side, not from the top. Here in this picture or in this video, you are looking at me shading or adding value very lightly to the top part of the phone, right? So after I've covered the area, now I'm adding pressure to my pencil, which means I'm pressing my pencil and adding a darker value than what you've seen earlier, right? All these I'm doing while referring to the sample picture that I have given you in Edmodo. So you must always refer to pictures or your subject when you are adding value or when you are doing drawing. In that way, you are going to get a very close representation or likeness. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to blend the darker area towards the lighter area. What I do is at the corner or at the edge, I will slowly lift off the pressure of my pencil. Now I'm demonstrating it on another side of the paper. First, I lay the very lightest layer of value, and then I'm slowly adding pressure from the darkest and then lowering the pressure of my pencil towards the lighter. So this is called blending. Now you can use cotton buds like I'm using, or tissue, or even your finger to blend it further and to create a very smooth texture. Alright, so you can use blending to create smooth texture drawing. Alright, now I'm moving on to the other part of the phone. Right, again, I am referring to my picture and adding the darkest value and slowly lifting off the pressure to add the lighter value. Right, now you see this is the outcome for that part. Right, keep adding value if you think the area needs to be darker. Now I'm moving on to the other part. Again, you should always lay a very light value. When I'm saying light value, I mean you lower the pressure of your pencil, and then you need to add on the value by slowly pressing your pencil or adding pressure to the pencil. Right, if you see, I started with the light layer and then gradually I'm pressing my pencil, adding pressure to make it darker and darker. Right, now you see I'm covering the sides with the lightest value, and then slowly I'm blending from the darkest towards the lightest by lifting off the pressure. Now I'm using cotton buds to blend it, to give it a very soft look. And then I'm going over it with pencil again to add more value, to make it even darker. Right, this is a very soft and time-consuming process where once you're done with the first layer, you blend it and then you add on another layer because you just want to make it look even better. Right, you can stop at first layer, but if you think it needs more value, then you can keep on adding. So drawing is not one layer process, right? It requires you to do that work and then finish the layer and then put your work from far and look at it. When you look at your work from far, you will understand. Maybe you need to add some more layers, or if you think it's enough. This comes with practice, yeah? Alright, so I'm moving on to the other parts. You see, I start with the lighter layer and then I try to add more value, and then I blend it towards a more gradual look, right? So this is one of the way of making a very realistic drawing. Alright, first of all, you must have a very proportionate, a very accurate, a very representative drawing. Right, that is your first step. Once you've gotten the proportionate or accurate drawing, then it's adding value. Right, adding value can be done using a pencil, color pencil, watercolor. Okay, now I am demonstrating how I'm doing the value from the darkest towards the lightest. Right, at the darker part, you press your pencil. Towards the lighter, you just lower the pressure. Okay, keep on adding value to the area that you think needs to be. All this while, please keep referring to the sample picture. Please keep referring to the picture because you can't work with your imagination. Right, you might be wondering, why did I not start with the lighter value here? Because referring to the picture, this area is already darkest, the darkest value. So I immediately put in the pressure of my pencil and build the darkest area. Okay, keep working with your pencil. Right, identify the lightest area and the darkest area and the midtones. Right, this is what gives your drawing more depth or more realistic look. Right, when you start to use different value from the darkest to the lightest, and when you have the darkest dark, that means when you press your pencil, you are giving it a very strong look. While the darkest area exists in your drawing, the lightest area or the highlight must also exist in your drawing. That will give a very good contrast, and that will draw your audience even deeper into your drawing. Right, when you are inviting people to look at your drawing, you're not just asking them to look at it surfacely. You're asking them to read your drawing by looking at the darkest area, the lightest area. This means you are giving them information where the light is coming from and what area is the darkest, what area is the lightest. Now, I am working on the larger area. If you see, I am still slanting my pencil. And if you notice, there are some patches that's uneven on the larger area, yeah? If you see, there are some darker area and then some lighter area, so it's uneven. Okay, now I'm starting with the lightest layer or lightest value. And you see, I slowly build up the layer or the value. Right, to make the larger area value even or smooth, I'm using a cotton buds. Right, you see now it's even smoother. You don't see patches of different values there. Right, so once it's smoothened out, I'm adding the darkest value. Right, again, this is not from my imagination. In fact, I've been looking at it all the time at my laptop because my picture has not been printed. So I put it up on my laptop and referring to the value and applying it on my drawing. So this is not from my imagination, but it's actually observation of the sample of picture. Right, look at how I slowly build it. Now I'm working otherwise, from the darkest towards the lightest, because I'm trying to create a gradual change. Okay, all this while, notice the way I press my pencil or I hold my pencil. Right now, I'm taking my cotton buds and smoothing or making the layer smooth. Okay, now to the details part of the camera. Again, please refer to the sample picture that you have. Right, this is the most important area because in the picture, this is sort of like the area which needs to be seen on the phone. Right, so please be very careful because it's a very small area on the picture, yet it has great details. Right, identify the darkest area, the lightest area, the mid-tones. Right, when you identify all this, then only you can create a successful realistic drawing. Right, make sure you have an eye or look at all the details. Do not just see what is on the surface, but look closely at the picture. Right, identify which value needs to go where by just looking at the picture and asking yourself, okay, what should I do here? Which value I should apply here? How dark is the value over here? Right, so while you're drawing, you keep on asking the questions. By asking questions to yourself, not me, to yourself, you should be able to understand, okay, this is the value, because you are drawing it, not me. Only you know how and where to put the darkest value, the lightest value. I am showing an example from my point of view. Alright, so I'm keeping on working with the value at the camera area of the phone. Right, still notice that I am using the side of a pencil. Right, make sure your pencil is always sharp when you are adding value or when you're drawing. It must be sharp. Okay, lighter the value or the pressure of your pencil to create a lighter value. Right, keep adding value to the areas that you think should be added with the pressure of your pencil. When you are pressing your pencil, you are creating depth on your drawing. When you are not, it's a lighter area. Alright, so you're giving information to your audience to identify, okay, this is the darkest area and which part is the lightest area. Right, again, I remind you, drawing is not an easy process. It takes you to finish the layer and then look at it again and then identify, and always ask yourself whether this is enough or not enough. Alright, so drawing takes a lot of time and patience. But the reward is really fulfilling. Okay, continue looking at your sample picture and adding the value. Right, be very patient when you're adding the value because you need to look and look and look again at the sample picture. Okay, be very patient to complete your work. And there you have it. Share with me yours.